Greetings, B-movie aficionados.
Hello, welcome to A Couple of Flicks. I'm Tristan.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Zach.
All right, so first things first, spoilers. Let's just get that out of the way first of all. Because we're probably going to spoil the shit out of these movies. And the movies in particular that we're talking about are our top 10 favorite films of the year, individual top 10, of course. Not collective. So this will not be a committee vote. Let's see. So before we get started, how are you guys doing?
Bad.
Good. Yeah.
How are you?
Pretty good. So it's been an icy year.
Yeah. Another big old snowstorm here.
That's right. Man. This is like 90 degrees here today.
Oh man. Well, yeah, I get it, But let's see. Okay, well, before we give our top tens, we've done this before. We've spun a wheel in which what did we get last time? It was like
Pandemic.
Pandemic.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I took that one off the list just because that was very niche.
Indeed, it was we already made that into two parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we are going to spin a wheel that has an arrangement of topics on it, and whatever it lands on, we'll choose as a theme. So, and then in the next episode, we'll decide on which films we'll have for that episode.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So, do you have the wheel prepared? I know this takes a little bit of a moment. Okay.
Can you see the screen? Right. There we go.
It's coming up. Yeah. Excellent.
All right. Since I think I did it on the iPad last time, so couldn't see it. But all right. I guess I'll just click once, I guess, since it's the wheel. Don't have to do the randomizer. So let's see what we get.
Ooh.
Fantasy,
okay.
Oh, wonderful.
All right.
Okay. Well, I know a lot of bad fantasy movies that I want to watch, so this will be an interesting choice.
Yeah. I think we've had too many fantasy movies.
Yeah. I know the only one I could think of off the top of my head was the Sword and the Sorcerer, or whatever. Was it Sword and the Sorcerer that we watched on the Albert Pian?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's like the only one I could think of off the top of my head that we've watched. Maybe there was another. I don't know. Does Mac and Me count?
In some ways, yeah. McDonald's dancing scene.
Yeah, that definitely felt like a fantasy of some weird, demented sort. But all right, so I guess now we will dive into our top tens of the year of 2022, which I'd have to say is probably one of the best years I've had, for film, I've seen in a while. Maybe since 2007, 2008. I don't know.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It's a lot of stuff I still have missed too.
Yeah. Same. I mean, these lists are only temporary. They are subject to change. In 7 years, I'm sure none of these movies are going to be on this list. So, actually, I'm almost positive of that. I'm already kind of questioning, but doesn't matter. So who would like to go first? I think I'm a little too afraid to go first. So.
I'll go first.
All right.
So my number 10 is Top Gun Maverick.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
which was one I've seen recently, actually.
Ah.
It's because it finally got put on Paramount Plus. I don't know if I mentioned it when we recorded before or not, but yeah, I liked it a hell of a lot better than the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Like I know a lot of people love the first one, but I was like, it's okay. That's why I was like hesitant on seeing Maverick, but it was really good.
Yep. I saw
Yeah.
it in theaters too. It was fun. Little Tom
Nice.
Cruise came out and said, "Hey, thanks."
Nice.
Yeah, I definitely loved it too. And unfortunately, it was the type of film that I was sort of hesitant to watch at first as well. Like at first at first I was hesitant, but then when it got popular and people started raving about it, I was like, all right, I guess I'm gonna have to check it out, So
Yeah.
My exact feelings was, yeah. I never saw the first one either, so I'm like, I
yeah.
have to watch both of them now.
Did you end up watching it?
Yeah, yeah. I watched
Okay.
the first one just like right before I went out and saw the
Nice.
second one.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's goofy.
The stunts are kind of cool, but that's about it. I mean, I think people like it more for like nostalgia, so.
Yeah.
Funny 80s movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The plane flying scenes don't age that well, especially compared to this one, but
Yep.
since they're all
100%, yeah.
practical in the new one most of the time.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a nice like old school style kind of movie, but with a nice, healthy amount of sentimentality in there too. Like not like overdone. I mean, yeah, I really enjoyed it a lot. And yeah, like you said, the the actual stunt work was pretty top notch, no pun intended on the top part, but
Yeah, it was on my honorable mention list.
Nice. Yeah, this is the one I was like, I don't know if it should be in the top 10, but it was really good. It surprised me.
Mm.
cool. Yeah, good choice. Okay. I guess I'll go next. I think I'm ready. So I'm gonna just toss my controversial pick right on on number 10. I chose The Outwaters. And I'm noticing the ratings for these movies now that more people have seen it is going down further and further. But I don't know, something about it. It really affected me, honestly. It's one of the most disturbing movies I believe I've ever seen, and I can't believe it because it's a found footage movie. I got legitimate nightmares from it. I like the sound design, like really, really bothered me. Like I was hearing the sounds in my head for a while afterward. It's just one of those movies that really just haunted me. And I looked it up, and I looked up the director, and he's this funny little gay guy who he actually plays the main character in it, and he does a great job acting wise. But he actually like kind of made the movie up on the just sort of on the fly. Like he had a dedicated little cast of folks who were all game, and he kind of was just experimenting with the whole like found footage format along the way, just kind of not really even like putting a whole lot of thought into what he was doing, I guess. And I guess the sound design he spent maybe like a year on, which is crazy to think about. But Nick, I actually wanted to kind of bring this up too, because this is something I found interesting. But he was inspired to make this movie because he saw a Bigfoot movie directed by Bobcat Goldthwait called Willow
Oh.
Creek. Have you seen
shit.
that?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay. Yeah. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of Willow Creek, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious to see that now, just based on the fact that he was a fan of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just oh yeah, no, I mean maybe that would be an interesting one to put like We should do Bigfoot movies and put that one on, you know.
I think it might be on the wheel.
Oh, fingers crossed. All right. You know, or we could just go rogue and do it anyway, like after we do the fantasy episode. But we'll talk about that another time. But yeah, it's just a weird movie about a group of like 4 friends. They're kind of hippie-ish folks. They go out to the Mojave Desert to shoot a folk music video, and the singer is like this girl whose mom had passed away. I guess it like the music she did for the music video was like a song that she used to sing to her or something like that. But anyway, like the whole like first half of the movie is pretty much just these hippies on vacation in the Mojave Desert. And so it's pretty mundane for like the first half, and then the second half it goes like into like this very strange cosmic realm that at first I thought that like they were having a drug trip and that it was supposed to be like that movie Climax, you know. But then like 20 minutes in I was like, wait a minute, but they're like filming this shit and it's all like on camera and it's like weird stuff. So obviously it's not a hallucination because it's, you know, found footage. So the idea of having a hallucination that turns out to actually be like real, like hallucinating about weird stuff, that's really creepy to me. And also I think a big part of the reason people hate this movie, not to like blather on about it, but I think a big part of the reason people hate this movie is because like most of the second half is in the dark and it's pretty much lit with a flashlight, you know. So I think for people who kind of don't have good sound design, like if they're watching it on like a shitty sound system or something, I could imagine like this would probably be pretty dull. But that's not to say that you don't see anything. You definitely do. It's just what you see is just so sketchy and strange and makes zero sense.
Yeah, I always
And you
find
know, yeah.
sorry, I always find stuff lit with flashlights pretty creepy, especially if it's like found footage stuff or in video games. It's like the creepiest in video games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree. I remember playing Silent Hill way back in the PlayStation 1 era and just like being at that hospital and just not being able to see anything and just being terrified, you know. So yeah, I agree. And like the flashlight is pretty small, but still like that actually kind of makes it even creepier. And just the last few shots of this movie just were just the creepiest thing ever. So I loved it, but it seems like it's not super well liked in general. So, but that's my number 10.
Gotta add it to my watch list.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I'm curious what you'll think of it. It was a strange one. You know, it kind of reminded me of like the experiences I had when I was a kid and I saw stuff like Night of the Living Dead and Psycho and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where like they scared me so bad that I almost felt kind of physically repulsed by them. Like I remember my sister making fun of me after I saw Psycho, like saying, "Oh, Norman Bates is gonna get you," and I was just like, I got so angry.
All right, my turn then. Okay.
Yeah.
My number 10, I went with Decision to Leave.
Okay.
I want to see that so bad.
Yeah, it was good.
It's good.
Good.
Yeah, it's like who was the guy that did Old Boy and all those movies?
Park Chan-wook.
Park Chan-wook.
Yeah.
It's another like a cop thriller mystery thing, but there's a lot more. There's a big romance subplot as well. It's thrown into it. It's mostly actually like a romance. The like murder mysteries kind of in the back burner the whole time.
Okay.
But it was good. Yeah, highly recommend if you like those. It's pretty typical of one of those cop drama movies of the South Korea. But a heavier romance element thrown in there.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it that much.
Yeah. I'll say it didn't go up higher probably because there was a big chunk in the middle of just only that romance subplot.
Yeah.
Or main plot, probably I should say the way they did it, but it was an interesting. Like I like the main female that was I guess the wife of the initial murder suspect and everything. Not to spoil them too much, but yeah, it's hard to talk a bunch about it without spoiling it too. So
Yeah,
just
well,
like,
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm more than likely not going to remember if you feel the need to express your thoughts about. I've come to realize, like, usually spoilers tend to. I usually forget about them by the time I see the movie. So I
yeah, I
mean,
usually do too. To be honest.
yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, it's most like the plot is like a detective falls in love with like one of his victim's wife, who's also a suspect, and then he's also cheating on his wife with her. So there's a whole, yeah, a lot of romance drama and them tied in a murder mystery thing. It's good.
Nice. Yeah, I like his. I really like his films. I think I've seen just about all of them now, and so yeah, I'll definitely check that one out too. So
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites of his, but it's still, yeah, real good.
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, it's my number 10.
So my number 9, I have The Whale.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. It's one of my 3 A24s. But yeah, Brendan Fraser, so good in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have it way higher in mine. But, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I don't know if it'd have much rewatchability just because of how emotional it gets. That's why it's a little lower, but it's still really fucking good.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah, I love The Whale. It definitely was like something I'm like glad I saw for sure. And you're right about it being very emotional. You know, Darren Aronofsky always makes movies where you feel so bad for the characters. Um, I think Pi might still be my favorite film of his, but The Whale might be my second, honestly. I really loved it. So.
Yeah.
And then Mother's my least favorite.
That was just pure chaos.
Yeah. I mean, it was brilliantly made and all, but I don't know that I kind of had to mentally check out in the last 5 minutes of the movie. You know, I didn't enjoy seeing what happened to Jennifer Lawrence, honestly. Well, I mean, I obviously weren't like supposed to enjoy it, but something about it that like provoked me in like a bad way. Yeah.
But yeah, it's my number 9.
Nice. All right. Well, my number 9 is a documentary. It's one that I was really moved by. It's called A House Made of Splinters, and it was actually nominated for Best Documentary at the Oscars. But it's about this. It's about a halfway house in Ukraine for abandoned children whose parents are like have like too many problems to take care of them. And throughout the course of the film, you kind of get to know these various children and get to know like what their backgrounds are and what their situations are. And they're all like, I just find it really always really powerful to see a documentary where people who have like really tragic lives are kind of immortalized, because you know it kind of gives their lives like more meaning, you know, because people could like more, it gives more people a chance to see movies like this and kind of see themselves in these subjects. And like for me watching it, I mean a lot of these kids in this movie, like you can see them, like they're all very memorable, and you can see them kind of adopt some of the same sort of self-destructive behaviors as their parents. A lot of them don't like talk like children at all. A lot of them talk as though they're adults. And throughout the course of the film, like some of them actually do make it back to their homes, and some of them actually do like make it into like places that are helpful for them. But then like some of them who are in this house, like they can only stay in this house for like 9 months or something, and then they have to get put in an orphanage. And those are probably the saddest parts of the movie, because like those are the kids whose parents like could never really get it together. And you even meet some of those like very parents early on in the movie as well, when like during parts where they're visiting them, and you almost kind of feel in a certain way betrayed in similar ways as their kids feel, because when you see those parents, they almost seem like they could have it together. So as far as like a movie that just offers a really healthy dose of reality, I really appreciated this one, and I would highly recommend it. It's the one I'm rooting for to win Best Documentary. So
Nice. I hadn't even heard of that one.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't really. I don't have any documentaries on my list. I do want to see the All That Breathes one, though. Whatever. I don't know what it's about, but trailers looked cool.
I want to see that one too. I think it might actually. It's possible that it's on streaming now.
It's on HBO Max. Yeah,
Excellent. All right. Yeah, I definitely want to see that one. So
yeah, I think I see like the trailer every time I watch Last of Us or whatever. I think that's where I saw it.
Yeah.
Which is about to start right now.
Oh shoot!
Quick.
Into our Last of Us.
Not good. Yeah, I haven't really been into documentaries lately, but I gotta start getting back into them.
Yeah, I mean, one of the films that's on my honorable mentions list is Prehistoric Planet. That was the other documentary I saw that I really loved. Like I loved it so much that I watched it twice before my Apple thing expired, or Apple TV expired, and I didn't get to watch it again. But I did. I watched the whole thing twice. So.
Nice.
Yeah. I did feel kind of like a dork, but I don't know.
My number 9. I guess I'll go right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. This one's more pandering. Probably wouldn't make the top 10 on a good year. It's Triple R. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a fun movie, and I was just scrolling through the list of 2022 movies, and I for some reason didn't even think it was 2022. Feels like so long ago we watched this.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll throw that on. It was good. It was fun. Like the little dances and stuff, and the action was good.
Yeah, it was really good. I'm trying to remember. Did it get nominated for anything?
It got nominated
so.
it got nominated for Best Original Song.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it wins.
Yeah, fingers crossed. That song rocked actually.
Yeah.
Like it was a good musical actually. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think RRR was great. I know a lot of people were upset that it didn't get nominated for like best international film or whatever, but yeah, I don't know. I think I thought it was pretty special. So
yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, really good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, got nothing else to say other than go watch the episode.
Yeah.
Yes. Also like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, it's still our best episode, most watched.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we made a lot of friends from that one.
Yeah. Ever since that video, we've actually had a ton of views, a lot more views. So
Good. Nice.
yeah.
That makes me happy.
We're on 8.
Yes.
So my number 8 is Decision to Leave.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. I definitely got to write the title down, but go on.
I don't have too much else to say about it. Nick described it pretty good. It reminds me of Drive My Car a little for some reason. Like had the same kind of vibes. If you've seen that.
Yeah.
I haven't yet. I wanted to, but
Yeah.
That's a good
I
one.
liked it. Yeah.
But the same, but not, but completely different. I don't know. It's hard to describe. But
yeah. Well, I love the idea of it.
I didn't expect what it was.
Yeah,
You were surprised by it? Yeah.
yeah, definitely check it out. I think I watched it on Mubi. I don't know if you use that or not.
Well, I don't. I actually I have at one point. I don't at the moment.
Yeah,
Actually, actually, to be honest, right now I'm using the library Canopy. That's kind of what I'm watching. It's Tubi and Canopy. Those are the two streaming services I'm using. But go on.
looks good. Yeah, I downloaded it. I got a trial of Mubi just to watch that. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get Mubi again for sure. It's when I'm done. Like it's when I like have. I've got to wait until I have like more time to watch movies. That's the only problem. Because like the only problem with Canopy is that I can only watch 5 movies a month with it.
Yeah,
But it's got so much stuff though. Like it's got like every Criterion. It's got an insane amount of documentaries. It has stuff that like I didn't even know was like could even be like available. Honestly, it's really a very unique service in my opinion. But it only
yeah.
lets you watch 5 movies. So
I got it to watch something specific, but I don't remember what it was. But
yeah,
I just thought it was weird that you can only watch 5 a month.
yeah,
Like I get it, it's like a library service, but still.
yeah. That's the one thing that sucks about it, honestly. And but I get why they have to do it, like you said. Yeah. It is worth watching if you're, or it is worth getting if you want to watch like really obscure historical stuff. That's probably what I would recommend it the most for. And also it has a lot of new stuff like that too, which is that's what I find really cool about it.
Nice.
So they also have, it has like a lot of weird old propaganda movies and stuff too.
Those are fun.
It's just crazy. So
Fun fact.
all right, my number 8 pick is The Holy Spider.
Oh, I wanted to
Actually,
see that one.
Yeah, I think it's actually just called Holy Spider now that I realize. But I don't know why I wrote The Holy Spider. You want to see that one?
Yeah, I've been wanting to see that one for a while. I just don't know where to watch it.
Well, it is available to, you see, I saw it in the theater, so but I think it might be available to rent now. I believe it might be like a recent thing though. So
I never even heard of it.
Well, it's
on Amazon. Yeah, it's on some stuff, but for rental purchase.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I usually try not to rent stuff unless it's something that like I really want to see.
Yeah, I usually if for me if I'm gonna rent something, I want to just buy it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend money on it unless it's like really shitty. I know it's gonna be shitty or something.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's an Iranian movie, and I guess it's based on a true story. It turns out, which I didn't realize when I was watching it. But it's about a serial killer who's killing prostitutes, and it's kind of like that movie, The Golden Glove, which is like this real skeezy, scummy movie that is like very much like an intimate portrait of a serial killer. Picture something kind of along those lines, only it's in Iran, so it's like this crazy Muslim guy with 3 daughters, and it partially follows him, and then it's also like the other half of the movie, because it cuts back and forth. The other half, it's like it's following this journalist who has specifically traveled to this city to basically like to as a journalist to kind of uncover what's going on, because she's kind of getting the set, because the killer, he's been sending these like recordings to another journalist who works in the city, and he's basically like going on about how he's purging the city of sin and how he's doing God's work and all this stuff. And so like the people there, and just like all the police and stuff, they're not really actually trying to catch him. Like they're actually kind of being sort of like accomplices to what he's doing, because they kind of agree with the whole idea of like prostitutes like getting killed or whatever. Like they like the fact that he's like purging the city of sin, because it's a very like cloistered religious, it's a holy city, it's Tehran. So like she's there and she's just constantly getting obstructed trying to find this guy, and meanwhile it's also following the killer, and it's very graphically showing what he's doing like to these women. So I don't want to spoil too much about what actually like takes place throughout the course of the movie. It goes to some pretty like, I mean, it's based on a true story, so I guess you can read about it. But bottom line, it was a very interesting film, and it definitely is the type of movie where it like if you're somebody who's kind of religious and a lot of people who are religious and stuff, like I think that it does kind of comment on some really dark fundamental aspects of just not necessarily religion, but just the history of it, and like more specifically how like women have been treated in most religious cultures. Obviously it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. It's by the director who did another movie called Border, which is a very, very weird movie that I highly recommend.
I want to see that one too.
That movie's crazy shit too. But yeah, Holy Spider, I was very compelled by. I really like this one. So that's my number 8. So
nice. Might have to actually rent that one unless it's coming out soon.
yeah.
On Blu-ray.
No,
I think it probably will. Yeah. I think it won some award at Cannes. Oh, it won the award for Best Actor or Best Actress. The woman who played the journalist, she was really good.
Okay. The one on the poster?
No, that's another character. That's actually the first character in the movie that you see. And actually, I thought that was a cool idea for a poster to cut, because the way the movie starts off, like you immediately like sort of see the realism of the killer's crimes. Like it's depicted very bluntly, but you wouldn't know that if you were just going into the movie. Like when you see the poster and it's like the picture of the lady, and you watch it, it's almost like it kind of doesn't really tell you what to expect. It just tells you kind of what the first image in the movie is and who she is. So
nice.
All right. Check it out.
Yeah.
My number 8. I kept going back and forth on. I'll just say this one, I guess. I'll do Vengeance.
Ooh, that's a good one. That was my honorable mention for me.
Yeah, it's been going on and off it, but yeah, I put it. It made the list. The final cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, it surprised me. It was better than I was expecting from Mr. Novak. BJ Novak. That's his name.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I was looking through my list. A lot of these have that kind of meta, poking fun of the millennials / Gen Zers type of. There's a lot of them coming out. I guess.
I mean, we could do for a good like jab, honestly. Like I'm into. But yeah, I definitely am intrigued by this new development. I didn't see it coming in the cinematic landscape. I am kind of appreciating it a lot too. So.
A lot of mine are actually. Now that I'm looking over it, like almost all of them could.
2022 was the year that Gen Z started getting made fun of, I guess.
Yeah. It was funnier than I was expecting, but I guess he's an office writer, so he has some comedic chops.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be more comedic than it was.
Oh yeah, it was
But
pretty serious.
Yeah, I like the way it went.
And Ashton Kutcher was great in it.
Yeah.
He was fun shit, yeah. And fucking
Yeah.
whenever, like in the very beginning, the first scene was just hilarious with him and John Mayer were just talking, and they're just like 100%, 100%,
Yeah.
100%.
I forgot he was in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I really want to though. I've seen like the trailer and I've watched a couple reviews of it too, but yeah, I haven't watched the actual movie yet. But I definitely want to because it looks like something that'd be pretty funny. So
Yeah. It's fun, funny.
Yep.
Some twists and turns along the way. It's another murder mystery.
Yeah.
I do love those.
Oh, should I explain it more or just?
If you want to, is there anything else you liked about it? Or...
Just go check it out. It's about a podcaster solving a murder mystery. Yeah, there you go. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, speaking of murder, did I tell you that I saw oh shoot, what was that movie that I saw? The one where the Kid Detective.
Oh,
Did I
nice.
tell you I saw that one?
No, when did you see that? That's with what's his face? That other kid that's kind of
Yeah.
like John Mayer.
Yeah, that's what made me think of it. When did I see it?
What? No.
Something like Brody.
Adam. I was
Adam
thinking
Brody.
Adrian Brody.
Yeah,
Is that even a
the
person?
A
I don't
names.
know. I really like
yeah,
that one.
I forget how many months ago it was, but it was like a few months after you recommended it. So, but yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah.
Good twist.
Yeah.
All right. We're on number 7.
Number 7.
Add some title cards in there with that.
Yeah.
My number 7 is RRR.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Excellent.
Yeah. I loved it. I definitely want to rewatch it because I know we were like,
yeah,
because I know we like picked it apart when we recorded that. So,
well,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like it'd be a good movie to watch with like friends. Honestly, I mean,
yeah.
Wouldn't it be like a good get like not power? Is the word party movie or there's another word for it? Crowd movie? I forget, but like. I don't know. I almost kind of feel like it would probably be a good theater experience. Like it just has that quality to it.
Yeah. Blockbustery with cool action, good music, explosions and shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wish I did catch it in theaters because when it was out in theaters, I was still in California, and the area where I was, there's like a big Indian population around that area, so that would have been an interesting theater experience. Yeah,
that would have been cool. Yeah,
yeah, because they're always playing like Hindi, Telugu. They're always playing those at the theaters over there.
Nice. Yeah,
but
I missed it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like most people at this point, most people I know anyway, seem to have watched it through Netflix, which
yeah, that's when it got big. That's when I heard about it.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, that was an excellent movie. So, and yeah, I thought it was going to be just a cheesy movie, but it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Because the clips I saw were like him throwing the motorcycle and shit. So it's like,
oh yeah,
like, oh okay, it's gonna be stupid. No, it's really fucking good.
Yeah, I only saw the one where they were like flying under the bridge and there was like the flag and they like the boat and all that stuff.
Good shit.
I think the animal attack scenes were my favorite.
Oh, those are great.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is there anything else you wanted to say about RRR?
Now, if you want to hear the rest of our thoughts, go watch the episode.
Yes, please do. Rise, Rise, Revolt, Rave, or something. I forget what the RRR is.
Rise, Roar, Revolt.
Okay, Rise, Roar, Revolt.
Roar. How could I forget Roar?
Yeah. My number 7 is a movie called Compartment Number 6, which I actually don't really want to say too much about it, to be honest, because it's such a character-based movie. But it basically, just to sort of summarize, this girl's leaving from Moscow. She gets on a train. The person that she has to share a compartment with, he's this kind of abrasive dude. So she doesn't really want to like leave the train either, because for reasons that you don't immediately find out about until later. Yeah, I mean, basically she just gets forced into this compartment with this guy that couldn't be more her opposite. And from there it goes into a really pretty beautiful direction, actually. Like, I can't talk about it. It's just, I really liked it a lot. I'll just leave it at that. Like I said, it's very character based, and it's one of those movies that it feels like it could have been made like 20 years ago. It has the feel of just an old school, just small, simple movie on a train. Most of the shots are within a train, and it's a surprisingly well shot movie considering how little space they have to work with. Just watch it.
I like movies that take place on a train. They're always fun. I don't know if this doesn't sound fun per se, but
I mean, it depends on your definition of fun. Like, for me, it was fun, but more like, but not like because it was quirky or because it was like necessarily entertaining. It was more fun because like I could see so many people I knew in these characters, and so like it made them easy to identify with. And yeah, like, you ever see the Before trilogy?
I want to. I haven't.
I haven't yet either. I wanted to.
Okay, yeah, like think along those type of lines, like a Richard Linklater movie where you could just kind of get to know the characters and just sort of more the way they think rather than kind of who they are. I just really loved it. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say. It's my number 7 choice. So
We'll add it to my list.
yeah.
I don't think I had heard of that one.
I'm not even sure why I watched it. To be honest, I think it was just something that was on like a list, and I was like, "It's a train movie. It's probably going to be boring, but I'll watch it anyway." I mean, I might have heard that it was good, but I don't know. I saw a train movie, and I was just like, "I'll give it a shot."
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. My number 7 is Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Okay. Nice.
See?
Some more A24.
Yeah. It's another one of those millennials being assholes and getting killed.
Yeah. I just for the record, I haven't watched the whole movie yet, but I did see like the second half of it, and like, because I went to a friend's house and they were watching it, and I hadn't seen most of it, but I saw how it ends. So and it seemed it seemed interesting. I definitely want to see like the first half of it, but yeah, go on. Sorry.
Well, yeah, it's a murder mystery again. I guess that Bodies, Bodies, Bodies refers to like a mafia party, werewolf mafia, that party game. It's just how they named it. It's the name of the movie, and it's a murder mystery. Someone actually dies, and well, I mean, you know how it ends, so you know who the killer is. And I thought the end was so good after everything that it devolved into, and then just turned out to be what the end was. And it's another one
Yeah.
of those ones that are making fun of like all these annoying fucking kids. And like a lot of the times I was like, oh, do I like this or not? And then they say something completely absurd, and I was like, okay, that's right. They're making fun of these kids. I almost forgot. So they did it well.
Yeah, I didn't like it at first because I thought it was gonna be a completely different kind of movie. But like after it finished, I'm like, okay, this isn't that bad.
Yeah.
But it's still like, I definitely need to rewatch it. But it's good.
Yeah, it was fun. A lot of mine are just fun movies, not necessarily anything amazing, but
Yeah.
Is that an A24? I think it is.
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice. All right, there you go. Yeah, I'll definitely watch the whole thing. It seemed like something I would like, honestly.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it'll be kind of annoying at times, I would imagine. I mean, I could see based on kind of what was going on that there was quite a bit I missed. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I originally just watched it because it had the girl from Shiva Baby in it. Like, oh, might as well check this out.
I didn't know it had her, and she was a good character in it too.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
I like
love
her.
Shiva Baby.
Yep.
Yeah, Shiva Baby was amazing.
Right. Number 6. Right?
I think
Yeah,
so.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My number 6 is Brian and Charles.
Oh, I heard about that one. I haven't watched it.
Okay. Have you seen it, Nick? Probably not.
No.
It's a weird one put on there. But so it's like mockumentary or documentary style shot like that kind of, but it's about this really eclectic guy who like builds these stupid inventions that never work. And he makes a robot, like a robot companion, and it's just like him finally getting something to work. And yeah, it's interesting.
I'll see it. I like movies about robot companions and stuff. So
Yeah, it's a robot. It's like body's like a washing machine and head's like a mannequin head. It's pretty
cool.
It's pretty interesting. A quirky one, I guess I'd put it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know, it's just something different. I usually like those kind of things.
I'll definitely watch it. I want to see After Yang as well.
Yeah, that was well, I think, yeah, that was good. A24, another A24.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's it's number 27 on my list.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I ranked shit throughout the year, so I have a whole list.
Oh shit.
What was the grand total of movies that you watched last year?
For just 2022 releases, 86.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
So
I was
After
really
Yang oh yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
After Yang was 26 on that list?
It's 26, 27.
Oh, 27. That's pretty high.
Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff last year, so
agreed. Yeah. Let's see. Is it my turn?
yeah.
Okay. All right. So my number 6 choice is The Whale. Pretty much more or less for like what you said earlier. Just the lead performance by Brendan Fraser was incredible. The makeup. At first, like I don't know if it was like that for you, but like for me, like when you first see him, like to me, it felt like it was like kind of shocking, just because it seemed like it was like really emphasizing just how large he was and stuff. But then, like, as the movie goes on, like, that kind of becomes like obviously it's still like the most important, like it's something that is obviously is like causing him to struggle with moving and all this other stuff. Like everything he does is an enormous struggle, and every movement he makes is just totally wipes him out. And of course, like you certainly feel that when you're watching him, but really like the character of Charlie himself really almost like shines through all the makeup and prosthetics more. Like you can see kind of his pain in his eyes and in his emotions more than you can in his actual like physical weight and in his overall sort of presence. And so throughout the course of the movie, just it was just one of those intriguing things where, I mean, it's basically a movie about different characters who've just given up on themselves and given up on each other. And and he's dying, of course. It's probably no secret, of course, like about that's literally the plot of the movie, is this guy's eating himself to death. And yeah, I mean, all the characters are pretty troubled and broken, but the film never really paints them as being evil people or being bad, even though they've all clearly done some pretty shitty things to each other and to themselves. And I don't know. It doesn't demonize. It doesn't make these people into caricatures. It's one of those films about people that we all could know, and what they could be like behind closed doors. So, any movie that's about real emotions and stuff, obviously, definitely something that deserves attention, I would say. I mean, I forget who said it, but like film is an empathy generator. I remember reading that that quote somewhere. I mean, this movie kind of fits that whole concept to a T, I'd say. So
yeah. I don't think people talk about it enough, but the caregiver in that movie is so good also.
Oh yeah, the whole cast is amazing. I think she was nominated, actually.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, she was incredible. And because like throughout the course of the whole film, you can tell how like frustrated she is about not being able to help this guy who she loves, and how much pain it's causing her, and how much pain it's going to continue to cause her, and also how much pain this guy has been kind of involved in with her life, with the loss of her family or her brother, which involved him. And just, I mean, I can't imagine having, I mean, in many ways, she's also like, she's as fascinating as he is, just because of like how insanely tolerant she is of this kind of behavior. I mean, she's constantly warning him and telling him that he's killing himself, and yet she's also the one who's providing him with the meatball sandwiches and stuff. So I mean, it's tough. It's tough to watch a character, feel that lost and divided about what they're doing. But she did a great job, and also the daughter as well was pretty intolerable, but also like realistically so. I mean,
yeah, it's basically her character in Stranger Things too.
Yeah, pretty much. And actually, speaking of Stranger Things, that's a show that does a strangely good job of doing this kind of thing too, where you meet these characters that you don't necessarily like, and then throughout the course of the series, you grow to like the series kind of gives you reasons to appreciate them or empathize with them. So Stranger Things is a good example of that kind of thing as well, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about The Whale. I mean, for now.
Yeah, it'll come back, I'm sure. My number 6 is The Menu.
Okay. It's another honorable mention for me.
Yeah.
Gotta see that one too.
It's another little fun movie. Nothing like mind-blowingly great, but I enjoyed myself while I was watching it. Made me laugh a lot.
Yeah.
It's another one of those, movies that I basically made my list of, is just basically, talking about elitist, classist douchebags, influencers, getting their comeuppance.
Yeah.
Very fun to watch.
And the take of the cultural community, whatever, however you want to put it, but
Oh yeah, the cult thing. There's a little
oh,
cult
did I?
twist.
I meant culinary.
Oh, culinary. Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Well, both. There's like a cult on the island, and then culinary. The culinary douchebagginess.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's like just about one of those super, like, it's like an ice. They go to an island to have this fancy, however many course meal, and there's twists. The chef isn't what he seems, or yeah. But and all the menu, what entrees are different themes of like different guests and their sins or whatever. So cool stuff. And it's not. I thought it was going to be like more horror, torture-y, like, but I'd say it's more like comedies. Well, not comedy, dramedy, I guess.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. A lot of people are like, "Oh, it's predictable." It's fun.
Yeah.
Like, just enjoy shit.
The problem with people always got to complain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not one of the greatest, but I had a lot of fun watching it.
Yeah, it was really fun.
I love the idea of it. And I mean, I love movies about food in general, really, like that one that you recommended last year. It's like done in like one take or whatever in the kitchen.
Boiling
That
Point,
one, yeah, I love that one. That one was really
so
cool.
good,
yeah. But no, I agree with you though about film criticism and crap. Like, people are so dumb these days. Like, it doesn't even. It's almost like it doesn't even matter if a movie is made well anymore. Like, people just find things. They'll just invent things that are wrong with them out of thin air. I hate it.
Me too.
Yeah. All right. So number 5.
Number 5.
My number 5 is Banshees of Inisherin. Hopefully I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've you guys seen that one?
I loved it.
They're so good.
Good. Okay.
That was on my honorable mentions.
Nice. Okay. I got it nominated for a few things too, I think.
Oh yeah.
Best picture, I'm pretty sure.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always liked Martin McDonagh's movies. Like they're always so good.
Agreed.
This one is no different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one was incredible. I mean, when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this is definitely going to be on my top 10 list." And of course, it didn't make it on the top 10, but it was very, very close, and it was on here for a while. So, but yeah, no, just beautiful political war metaphor, while at the same time also literally being about the war. And also about just that period of time in that location, and just the authenticity of it, and also how it kind of blended the real dark comedy, like really, really dark comedy in there. Also, I gotta get like, I mean, the nomination, like the fact that it got all these nominations is already pretty amazing. But like the kid in that, Barry Coogan or whatever his name is,
yeah, he was really good.
Incredible. And like, just I love the fact that he's been nominated for something now. I mean, I've loved him in everything I've seen him in.
Yeah.
Even that
I don't even know what
weird
he's
ass.
been in, but I've seen him a lot.
Yeah, he's a great actor, and he was in that really weird. What the hell was it? The
The Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Killing of a Sacred Deer.
That was with
Yeah,
Colin Farrell, wasn't it?
Yep.
yeah.
Oh,
Also
okay.
with Colin Farrell, he's got such great chemistry with Colin Farrell.
Yeah,
You know, it's
look
perfect.
at that.
Um,
Oh, he was in the Batman as well with Colin Farrell is in that, right?
Yep.
Yep.
That's funny. They're bros, the new Matt and Ben.
Yeah, I mean, I love that all these actors get along with Colin Farrell so well.
And he was
I think
probably,
he also was. Yeah.
I was gonna say, this was one of the better parts of Eternals, the Marvel movie.
I was about to say exactly that.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. I didn't mind Eternals. I think my biggest issue with it was that it was too dark. Like, it was hard to make out like what was happening at times. It was like,
Yeah.
what? Even just a little bit more lighting. I don't know.
Yeah, that was another one that people complain a lot about. Like,
Yeah.
it's a Marvel movie. You know what you're getting into. Come on.
Yeah. Agreed. I actually didn't mind it that much. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like Wakanda Forever more though. So that's on my that's actually on my honorable mentions list too. Is Wakanda Forever. So.
Yep, mine as well.
Nice.
I didn't see it.
Good.
I only saw Doctor Strange, I think.
Yep.
Nice.
I think in 2022, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it was
Marvel,
last year.
I mean,
Multiverse of Madness.
Sam Raimi.
Yeah. That one I had a hard time following, but let's see. I did see Thor Love and Thunder. That one was funny. I mean, I didn't like as much as the third one, but
Yeah, it's definitely not that good, but still fun.
Yeah. And then I am kind of curious to see Ant-Man, just because I want to see how the trilogy ends, you know, just
trilogy ends by setting up the next 3 fucking phases.
Of course.
But Jonathan Majors is really good in it, so
cool. That's good.
That's the new big bad.
Nice. Is there anything else that you wanted to say about Banshees?
Oh yeah, I forgot we were talking about.
Just diverted the whole conversation. Very
sorry. There's not a whole lot that goes on in it to really mention, but just watch it. It's good. It's one of those you just gotta watch.
Yeah, it definitely speaks for itself.
And also watch In Bruges too, because the two of them.
Oh yeah, Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell. And within Bruges, you get Ray Fiennes thrown into the mix too. So there you go. Let's see. Okay, my number 5 pick is a Belgium movie. It's a very emotional one, Close, which was nominated for Best International Film. It's not going to win because All Quiet on the Western Front was also nominated. So
it's got it locked down. Yeah.
Yeah, but I wish it hadn't been, because Close would have been the one I think should have won. It's about these 2 boys. They're adolescents. They're very, very close friends. And they go to this new school, and it's like middle high school age around that time, and of course, like, kids around that age are crazy, and so a big deal kind of tends to get made about their friendship, which causes them to sort of drift apart. It actually causes one of them to drift apart from the other, and I don't, then it takes a tragic turn, and I won't spoil what happens next, because we've heard news stories about this kind of thing, but it does end on a very cathartic note though. So even though it's a very sad film, it's got a very hopeful message, and Yeah, I mean, it's a movie about just, I guess, how do I put it? Just how we tend to kind of push a lot of young boys into growing up too fast, really, is sort of the message. I think we often as a society tend to forget that, girls just naturally mature faster than boys do. And a lot of times, boys need a lot more time and a lot more like nurturing and just uh personal experience with each other to really kind of grow out of a lot of these phases. And so it's a really sad movie because it's about, how a lot of boys end up kind of getting isolated, just society wise. And I just think it's always important for people to sort of remind ourselves that they're still kids. So
That's the another A24 one, right?
yeah, it's my second A24
Okay.
film on this list.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm thinking of the right movie.
You are.
Okay.
Yeah, highly recommended.
Okay. I'll definitely
It's
check
called
that one out.
Close or Closer?
Close.
Close. Okay.
I used to when I first saw the title, I thought it was called Close, like close the damn door, but it's actually close as in I need to get close because it's cold.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard too many people talking about that one, but
I saw that one in the theater as well. I'm really glad I did. Just very heartbreaking, but also very beautiful. So, and I think there was a little bit of controversy from the trailer because the trailer kind of makes it like it kind of missells it a little bit. I think. I mean, I haven't watched the trailer, but I got the impression that people thought it was like a gay thing.
yeah,
Um,
I could see that.
yeah. Um, and so like I guess there was some controversy when the trailer came out because people were like, "Oh, gay children! Oh no, indoctrination!" But it's not about
Oh,
any kind of gay anything. At least not from my perspective. I mean, and I am gay, so but I didn't get any kind of vibes like that watching this movie personally. But
okay. I see the scene in this
Yeah,
trailer or something. Yeah.
yeah,
I could definitely see that from the trailer.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking when I saw the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, I didn't see the trailer, so but and now I guess I'm kind of glad I didn't because if I had, I would have felt lied to.
All right. And so my number 5, I just saw it. Triangle of Sadness. It's a new addition to my list, but yeah.
Yeah, that's when
I
I
saw it yesterday. Today even I think I just saw it.
yeah, 'cause didn't it just
Cool.
get put on Hulu?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've been wanting to see that one.
Yeah. It's good. It's another like dramedy about fucking rich people. Rich douches getting their comeuppance. It's kind of I remember like not as good, definitely not as good as Parasite, but it had Parasite on a boat, on a boat slash deserted island vibes for the
Yeah,
main
I would
thing.
agree 100%. Actually,
Yeah, it was there was a bunch of weird shit too that kind of threw me off. Like there was the longest scene that I think people have probably talked like just a long ass scene of people getting sick on like seasick and comically like throwing up and shitting themselves. It was kind of out of place, but it was still funny as fuck. And like for I was like, wait, this is an Oscar nominated, like Best Picture Oscar nominated, really?
yeah.
It was comically people just like violently throwing up and shitting themselves.
It might have been the best part of. I mean, it was one of my favorite parts for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. It was fucking hilarious, but I did not expect it at all.
Yeah,
Probably will watch it this week at some point.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
it's worth watching. I think my favorite part of the film might actually be the third act. Honestly,
Yeah. Yeah. When they're on
but
the island, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, definitely very Parasite like for sure. Yeah.
got some Survivor vibes when they were on the island too. They were all like, "So we forming a what?" I think there was even like just them talking about let's stick together or something. Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Survivor, Lord of the Flies. Yeah.
That's funny shit. Yeah, it's pretty basic, but also I'm surprised. Yeah, I am like surprised they left that whole. I'm glad they did because it was hilarious, but surprised it got nominated. I guess this would be the more accurate thing to say. It's good. Go watch it.
Yeah. Definitely check it out. I'm glad it got nominated for Best Picture. Yeah.
So number 4, mine is X.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
My other A24 movie. Well,
It was on my list, but I got it booted off.
nice. Yeah, I know a lot of people prefer Pearl, but I loved X like a lot more. I just like the whole 70s vibe, a lot of Texas Chainsaw homages. Yeah.
I agree. I loved X. I thought it made like I forget if I said this, but I think I may have even said that I thought it made a better Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequel than this recent Netflix one or something.
Yeah.
I forget exactly what I said.
Yeah, definitely. Like I will say that Mia Goth's performance in Pearl was way better, but
Yeah.
X as a whole is just a better movie.
I still need to see Pearl.
Yeah, it's
Me
not
too.
bad, but it's not X.
Yeah.
I was gonna try and watch Pearl this week before this record, but I didn't get to it. Because yeah, I did like it. It's an honorable mention for me.
Yeah, I liked X too. I thought it was pretty cool. And I thought it had some pretty scary moments in it. I definitely am looking forward to seeing Pearl. I think Martin Scorsese said that he thought Pearl was like brilliant or something.
I think so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Random.
Is that the one he wrote something about? Like, or was that something else I'm thinking of? He like wrote a foreword in some article or something about it. Or
Oh,
maybe
was it? It might have been him.
yeah, it might have been that or something else. I don't know. But
Yeah. And then I think like somebody else, like it might have been Jordan Peele as well, because I know he sometimes talks about horror movies and stuff. So,
yeah. It's my number 4.
well, my number 4 is also an A24, and it's my third. It's After Sun.
Okay.
And I
That's
mainly
your
watched
third?
it's my it or not my third, my fourth.
Oh, okay.
But it's my third A24.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Sorry. Yeah, my number 4 is After Sun. I mainly watched this because it got nominated for Best Actor, and I was curious about the concept, and it's about like this daughter and father who go on vacation in Turkey, and it like so like the film kind of it cuts back and forth between like her like in the present and her in the past, and it also kind of cuts back and forth between like this like video camera footage that she filmed of her vacation with her dad in Turkey, and it doesn't really have a plot. I mean, I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. It's just but you could tell though that like from her perspective in the present that like her dad is no longer around, and you never really find out why he like maybe he moved away, maybe he died. It's like just kind of left up in the air. You get some hints throughout the course of the movie that he was having some really like bad problems mentally, and so it's quite possible that he may have committed suicide. But again, the film never really makes it very clear, which I actually kind of ended up appreciating because it sort of made it easier to sort of feel like related, like a certain level of relatability to like the main character in a certain way, because while she's on vacation with her dad, she's also kind of coming of age in her own way and kind of discovering herself and sort of recognizing that like her parents are people, that they're like much more dimensional, and it is kind of a melancholy movie. But I just loved it. I love movies that have like unorthodox qualities to them, and this movie was definitely that type of thing. It was somewhat experimental, but not in like a obtuse kind of way. It was more just the type of movie that you kind of get absorbed into, and just start kind of feeling the emotions of more and more. And it goes to some pretty emotional places at times. It's it's just about this girl remembering things and trying to make sense of what she remembers of her dad. She's trying to kind of find some semblance of logic in her memories with this video camera footage, which seems to paint a very different picture of their relationship. So it's in a way almost how like film, like when like old home movies and stuff are kind of lies, because it's more about how like the people behave in front of the camera and stuff. It's yeah, I don't know. I just really liked it a lot. It was a very, I don't know, it was a magical movie. And also I would have to say the lead actor, Paul Mescal, whatever his name is, who played the dad, did a beautiful job. I don't know which performance I liked more, his or Brendan Fraser's. I'm leaning toward Brendan Fraser's, but I don't know. Paul whatever did a great job too. So anyway, that's all I have to say about Aftersun.
I didn't know what it was about, but I just knew it was A24, so knew I was going to see it eventually. And now that it was like nominated for some things, I was even more interested. So I'll definitely have to check it out.
I loved it.
Yeah, I was gonna try and watch it this week too before this, but I didn't get around to it.
It's definitely worth seeing. I'm a little nervous though. They haven't announced any physical release for it yet, and I'm kind of wondering like.
Yeah, there's a few A24 movies that have done that recently that haven't got a release.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of sketching me out a little bit. I mean, although who knows? Maybe Criterion. I mean, didn't they put out an A24 movie not too long ago?
They did the Adam Sandler one.
Oh yeah, Uncut Gems.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, or just grab an import.
That might be the only solution.
That's what I did for Under the Silver Lake. Had to grab an import.
Yeah, that's annoying. But yeah, sometimes that's what you got to do.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm up.
Mm-hmm.
My number four is actually The Whale. So told you it'd come back.
Wonderful.
Yep. Of course, I mean, I don't know much to add then because we've already talked about it twice. I'll say one little thing that I guess is like the food when he was eating was so disgusting too.
Oh yeah.
Visually and mostly the sound effects are fucking nasty they put in there. It's all sloppy and shit, but
yeah, that was
a fun little tidbit that you can expect.
It was a heartbreaking moment. Yeah.
Yep, Brendan Fraser killed it. Hope he wins.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it's on all three of our lists.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, but other than that, I don't have much else to add that we haven't gone over.
Okay.
I think my favorite scene is when he throws the laptop, honestly.
Yeah.
What did you think of the ending, honestly? Like, I guess that's maybe we could talk about the ending. Why not? How did you feel about that?
I liked it. Like the actual like him floating or just the actual like
the build up, the payoff, like
I
all of
loved
it.
it.
Like,
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, it was very emotional. Of course,
Yeah.
and then like, I mean, I kind of knew that the poem was of his daughter made the poem or whatever, so I wasn't
Yeah.
like surprised by it or anything. But I was like, oh yeah, very emotional once it all came to a head.
yeah, that was a very soul bearing moment, and like I mean the floating thing I didn't expect, but it definitely like again it stuck with me, and
Yeah.
kind of in the
Yeah.
same way the ending of Black Swan did. You know?
It reminded me of the ending of Birdman.
Oh right.
Oh
Floating
yeah, with
people.
the daughter smiles.
Yeah. Like he flies off.
Oh
And,
yeah. It's been a while since I've seen that one. Yeah.
yeah.
That was another great movie. Holy crap.
What'd you think of the ending? Yeah.
Uh, yeah, no, I thought it was beautiful. I really loved the ending. And what about you, Zach?
I liked it. I like when endings kind of do that.
Yeah, me
Ambiguous.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of got the impression that not everybody was crazy about the ending. I think some
Yeah.
people found it contrived, but I don't know. At that moment in the film, like you go through so much heartache that you almost want just even like the slightest bit of grace, and it worked out well. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people complain it was in one location too, which I didn't notice.
No,
But
I
then
didn't
I,
even
but
realize
then
that.
I
Yeah.
found out it was based on a play. So I'm like, that makes perfect
Oh
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's a weird complaint though. Like I can think of
Yeah.
so many movies that take place in one room.
Like we said before, gotta find something to complain about.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
So number 3.
Three? Yeah.
Yeah. My number 3 is The Northman.
Nice.
Yeah. I love Robert Eggers stuff. And it's all usually period accurate too, is one of the main things I love about him. So yeah, just another great Eggers movie.
I didn't see it. I want to see it.
Really good.
Yeah, I saw it. I liked it a lot. I want to rewatch it. Um, the fight scenes are kind of interesting. Like the for a movie about Vikings and all that, like you almost expect the fight scenes to kind of have like I don't know. They're like in a lot of those kinds of movies, they're always very stylized. And in this film, they're very not, which is what's cool. I mean, it was kind
Yeah.
of more just brutality.
Yeah, I think he did a lot of research on like the actual fighting, not trying not to be super stylized.
Yeah, I think it worked. You know, I mean, the hits actually look like they hurt. So.
That's what I was interested in. Yeah, I heard about that and it sounded cool.
Yeah. But I think the only thing I didn't really like it, Nicole Kidman felt out of place a little bit.
Oh yeah, I heard that. Like she's like the mother of the main guy
Yeah.
or something weird. She
Yeah.
looks like his age or whatever, something.
Yeah, that's the only thing, but it's still really good. I can put that to the side and enjoy the rest of it.
I think there was a Colin Farrell movie where that was in it. It was that Alexander the Great movie that he was in, where he played Alexander the Great. I think Angelina Jolie played his mom in that, and she like didn't age at all throughout the whole movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Robert Eggers is a great director. Still, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy's in it. I like
Yep.
her.
Yeah.
yeah, she's great. Was she? I thought was she in one of the movies we talked about? I don't think she was actually.
Menu.
The menu.
Oh,
was
that's
also
it.
Yep.
Okay.
She's like the main in that one. She's great.
Nice. All right. Well, okay. My number three. Okay. So my number three is We Are All Going to the World's Fair. I wanted to make sure I spelled the title right because I think I said it wrong, like back when I talked about it. But I think I called it "Let's All Go to the World Fair" or something.
Yeah.
And yeah. Um. Yeah. So this one, this is another one that not a lot of people are gonna like. Mainly because like very very little happens in it. The whole movie pretty much takes place, basically like all right, so the whole movie is basically following this. Well, I shouldn't say the whole movie, but the film is about this young girl who gets invested in one of those, um, what do you call it? Real life role playing games, like internet role playing games, where she sort of is like playing this thing that like it's like an urban legend thing where she's following, and it has to do with like some kind of creepy pasta or something like that.
Oh, ARGs. They're
Yeah,
called
something like that.
like
I
alternate reality games.
basically, yeah,
They
there
like
you
follow
go.
clues in real life that are hidden in YouTubes and Twitters and stuff.
Right, exactly. Yeah, she's basically doing that. But like as the film goes on, it kind of becomes sort of not exactly clear how aware she is that it's like a role playing game, and she starts developing this sort of kind of a online relationship, like, for lack of a better word, with this other guy who like may also be playing a character. Like it's not clear again. He might be a predator. He might be somebody who's like an expert on the game, who's actually trying to who might be a part of the game. Um, and so like as the film goes along, it's unclear how much of this she's invested herself in and how much she hasn't. And I'm not going to spoil the ending. It kind of has like an anti-ending because there reaches a point in the film where you kind of stop following the character, and suddenly you're no longer really watching the movie from her perspective, and you're not really seeing the world from her perspective. So like the first half of the movie is kind of like the movie Eighth Grade, where you're following this troubled middle school girl who's trying to navigate a very awkward time in her adolescence. And then at a certain point, the film switches perspectives to the person that she's interacting with. But the movie doesn't really make it clear that it's doing that, which I know sounds really confusing and strange. But the way the film is presented is actually like it's kind of easy to sort of understand that that's kind of what they're going for as it goes along. But it's a very gradual thing that you learn. And then the ending, I mean, the ending's probably going to be the part that'll piss the most people off about it, because like the ending is kind of when the curtains uh kind of roll back and you realize that like the artifice of the film, like there's not really any conclusion to. So it's, I guess in a way it's about how like people on the internet and people who get invested in like these online video chats and games and stuff are putting on a performance, and the movie is kind of exploring what happens when this particularly young girl gets invested in this world but isn't really self-aware enough about the performative aspect of it. um it's an intense little movie thematically speaking, but it was one of those movies that really got me thinking a lot more about how our identities are never really self-composed. They're really more composed about how other people see us. And so whatever identities we come up with ourselves are not really identities. They're more just what we view our self images to be, and so so the film's kind of confronting that idea a little bit, maybe, and kind of poking at it a little bit, trying to sort of maybe find its own revelations, you know, because she's pretty heavily invested in this internet culture. You know, she's doing the whole like ASMR. What are those people where they have the microphones and they're going, "This is my blog," type of thing. You know, she's into that stuff, and it's just one of those movies that I just found a lot of thoughtful, interesting things about it, you know, to appreciate. So
I've wanted to see it. Looked good. I just wasn't didn't ever get to see it, and then kind of forgot about it. But I do want to see it.
Yeah, I own it. Still haven't watched it yet. For some reason, I didn't realize it came out last year too. I probably would have made an effort to watch it this week.
well, I mean, technically I think it was released in 2021, but it didn't come out in this country until 2022, I think.
Yeah.
So that, and I think there was another, I think that Compartment Number 6 movie didn't come out in this country until 2022 as well. So it was one of those things that I think it came out around the festival circuit in like October, November 2021, and just kind of got mixed up and jumbled in the mix. I think
Yeah.
Marcel the Shell with Shoes On was another one of those.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's, and then I think Saint Maud was another one too, where like nobody even knows what fucking year that movie was made.
So A24 as well.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's a pretty unique movie. Like I said, don't really expect to like it. Just expect it to be just a different kind of experience. You know, it's not really the type of movie that a person is supposed to like be entertained by or necessarily love or hate. It's more the type of film that is just different enough that it just kind of gets you thinking about what you're watching and the ideas that it's presenting. So I always love little weird movies like that, and this one's pretty low budget too. So
Nice. Okay. I'll check it out. Add it to the list.
yeah.
See, we're number 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Okay. Oh, whoops. My number 3 is Barbarian.
Nice. Another of mine honorable mentions.
Same.
Yeah, I like this one. It was a good horror movie. Just really well done. I like, because what I appreciate is one of those movies like kind of, it's, I don't know, it's not anything like the Green Room, but it's a movie where like the good guys are generally doing everything more smart than your average horror movie protagonists, making generally smart decisions. Some near the end they kind of do some stupid shit, but it's realistic decision making on the horror front that you don't see too often. And I loved Justin Long's character that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I don't think I did much research into this movie. I just heard it was good, and I went in, and then, like, it was first pretty scary horror shit up front, and then out of nowhere, just Justin Long's characters, some hilarious Hollywood douchebag. Again, it's another one, a movie that makes fun of these rich assholes.
Yeah, this one was great.
Yeah, and I like the setup in the beginning too, where they're mixed up with air, just like, oh, I rented this Airbnb. No, I did. And yeah, I mean, we all saw it, so spoilers. They both did, and there was a mess up on Airbnb's part. And it wasn't anything horror related for that part.
No.
But you thought like that dude was going to be a killer or something because they're throwing all these red herrings at you, but turned out to be something fucking wilder.
Yeah.
Way the fuck wilder.
It was so nuts. I did not expect that. Yeah. Naked demon. I mean, I guess she wasn't demon lady, but She was definitely supernatural-ish. She was like climbing up walls and shit,
Yeah.
breaking through. Did she break through a wall? I forget.
She smashes through walls, she smashes through windows, she just goes all full on Hulk mode. Like she's basically just like a mutated, deformed, inbred mutant. Like you get like those baby cages and all that stuff. I mean, yeah. I did like the breastfeeding scene.
So fucked up, yeah.
It's even more surprising coming from Zach Kreger, from The Whitest Kids You Know.
Oh right, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Comedy people know how to do horror.
Oh
I
yeah,
guess it's pretty similar is what they're saying. These comedy people say.
yeah, I guess so. Jordan Peele. I mean, that's like, I mean, he's making some of the best movies. Although, oh yeah, and I love also how the movie turns into an absolute gore fest by the end too. However, this is another one of those movies that doesn't seem to have any physical release date yet. It seems. I mean,
Oh, really?
last time I checked, anyway.
I
So
don't think so.
yeah, it's just kind of spooky because it's like a Fox movie. It's like, what's going on there?
Oh, Fox. Disney's probably like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's what I'm worried about. That Disney's going to look at Barbarian and be like, wait a minute, we don't want our names on this. Let's just not release it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it on Amazon. I'm just getting Conan.
That's, you see, this is disturbing to me. They need, stuff like that needs physical release because it's so good. I mean, come on.
And the Barbarian Brothers.
Twin Sitters or whatever the stupid movie's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about all I got to say about Barbarian.
Nice. It's a good scary movie. What was that?
I'm just gonna go on to number 2.
Oh yeah, number 2. Here we go. All right.
My number 2 is the Batman.
Nice. That's another one on my honorable mentions.
Yeah. It was just the gritty Batman that everyone has been wanting. Just like a straight up crime thriller with Batman in it.
Yes. I loved it.
Yeah.
I liked how it was very elemental, there was an emphasis on like rain and mud and just the dark and stuff.
Yeah.
I appreciated that.
Cinematography and shit. It's all that.
Almost kind of noirish, but not really.
Close enough. I mean, it had those elements. I mean, I guess technically it's more neo noir, but I don't know. At a certain point, it doesn't even really matter. I mean, yeah, like you said, very like an old school detective thriller. Very macabre, very reminiscent of Seven, as a lot of people have compared it to.
Yeah.
And yeah, probably the best Batman movie since The Dark Knight. I mean, I can't think of anything. Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Everyone's doubting Robert Pattinson, but it's really good.
I figured he would be good.
Yeah.
Good actor, looks the part.
Yeah, nobody saw his other shit other than Twilight, so just base it on that.
Yeah, he gets a lot of shit for that Twilight.
Yeah.
I think he's a great actor though.
Same.
Yeah, for sure. Got to see Good Times before that, so I was like,
I still haven't seen that. I gotta see it.
Oh man, that was like Safdie brothers at their most safty. Oh, Good Time is nuts.
yeah.
I want to call it a good time. In a way, it is.
Good movie.
Yeah, definitely a good. If you like good movies, then you'll have a good time with it for sure. That's another one of those movies that I could see a lot of like Gen Zers complaining about, honestly, because it's just they'll just like question the character decisions every 5 minutes, which is like, come on, like obviously the character's supposed to not be likable, and you're not supposed to like what they're doing. Like, I see that complaint for a lot of movies too. I hated the characters. I'm like, which I get it, because there are some movies where the characters are so intolerable that I just can't get into the movie. But I don't know. For me, like a movie like Good Time, it's like a train wreck, you know. So.
Yep. Yeah, that was my number two.
Well, speaking of unlikable characters, my number two is Tar. So I still don't fully know how to feel about this movie, because I mean, I'm with it to a certain degree, but it goes off the rails in the weirdest way possible at the end. So the first time I watched this movie, I interpreted the story of being about like a composer who ends up having to face justice for decisions that she's made in the past, which I'm not going to spoil for those who haven't seen the movie. I thought it was, it was a movie about a character who was a lot more like messed up and demented than she was kind of putting out, to the world. And she was kind of putting out this appearance of this professional, sort of well-respected composer who I'm still not even necessarily sure if she was a real person or not, but
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing some research, and
I hadn't
I
seen
don't know.
it, but I thought that's what the synopsis said. But
Well, I mean, there are certain similarities that she has with certain people, and there was apparently like somebody named Lydia Tarr that she might have been based on, but I'm still not entirely sure. I mean, this movie is such a puzzle, and very, very complex. And throughout the course of the movie, like, so I'm watching this character ending up having to face the music for her shitty behavior. But there were just little things that were kind of going on that just kind of were constantly throwing me off here and there. And then like toward the end of the movie, in like the last like 40 minutes of the film, like that's when the film starts to kind of lose me and I get very lost. It around the time where she starts running into the alleyway. Yeah, after that the film, like, just a lot of weird shit happens, and the whole thing starts to kind of shift in a very peculiar direction, and you get to the ending, and I'm thinking like it could have been real, but I'm just confused. And then I rewatched it, and it totally didn't even feel like the same movie. The second time I watched it, it felt like this character was traumatized by this particular sort of situation that she had previously had with somebody who might have possibly been a psychotic stalker. And throughout the course of the film, you kind of get little hints that that might have been the case, or that this person that she had potentially been involved with had like a different perspective on what was going on in their relationship than she did, which of course was obviously unorthodox. But then you get to the alleyway, and I still feel very lost by it. Obviously there's a lot of intention to it, and like I can tell that the guy who directed it, Todd Field, was very Kubrick inspired for sure. And I would even maybe go so far as to say that this movie, filmmaking wise, is like, I would call it on the level of Kubrick. It's impeccable. I mean, there's a lot of really impressive long shots and long takes and dialogue scenes that, mean one thing in a certain context, but then could mean something else in another context. And I don't know. I got to watch it again. I've watched it a couple times now, and I still don't feel like I've watched the whole thing. I just don't.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I still don't know how I feel about it. Like, there's a good movie in there, but I just don't like it. You know what I mean?
yeah. Oh, most definitely. Yeah. I've had that experience with things before too. Yeah. Um, I think the first time I felt that way about a movie was that movie Ravenous. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's like
Part of
about
it.
like it's a strange movie. It's like about the myth of cannibalism and how um people who like are cannibals like take on the characteristics and abilities and um spirits of the people they eat and stuff. And so like it's about like how like a person can eat other people and become stronger, which is a very strange idea for a movie. And I saw it in the theater, believe it or not, when it came out. I don't remember if it was the first R-rated film I saw in the theater or not, but somehow I saw it in the theater. I don't know how, even. I think my dad might have taken me to see it. And I remember watching it and thinking, wow, that was really well made, but I hated it. you know, and then I saw it again years later, and I came to realize the reason I hated it was because of the music. But when I kind of separate the music from it, and it's weird because I actually like the music in the movie, but the music is like so annoying in the context of the film. And so like when I watch the movie, I have to sort of almost ignore the music score. I know that's sort of strange to say, but
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't know. Maybe that's not the right kind of comparison, but I've definitely felt that way about movies before, where I've watched them and I'm just like, I can definitely appreciate what they're going for, but there's something that's not clicking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for me with this movie, I don't know. I just love how bizarre and complex it is, and Kate Blanchett is so weird. I don't know. I just liked it.
Yeah, I want to rewatch it. Maybe going into it knowing she's a unlikable character, and
Yeah, that
I
might
don't know.
help.
I wasn't interested in the subject matter either, so that didn't help.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
I want to see it. I was going to, but I just couldn't fit it because it's long, and I was like, oh, I
Mm,
gotta watch a couple other movies. I couldn't squeeze it in. So,
yeah, that's kind of probably the biggest problem with it is that it's really really long. I mean, it doesn't feel long to me, but I mean, I could see it if somebody isn't really interested in what's going on or feeling invested in the characters. Like I could definitely see it being a slog for sure.
Yeah, the beginning
I
felt a little bit that way for me.
Oh yeah, the first part of the movie is literally like a TED talk.
Mhm.
no.
But yeah, no, I get what you mean. Yeah, in hindsight, I can't really think of how the film could have been shorter, honestly. But yeah, I don't know. Like you said, it does. It is. Yeah, you do have to invest time in it.
Okay, my number two. If you're done,
Yeah, sorry.
no, my number two is actually Banshees of Inisherin.
Nice.
Lovely.
I just really love this movie. It was so good. I just saw it like yesterday, I think, and just loved it. So might be a little recency bias, but yeah, it was great. I just loved how it was. I mean, on the surface, at least, the movie mostly about nothing.
Oh
There's
yeah.
two buddies fighting, but it got so extreme. I was like, oh fuck, and it was funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a very troubling idea because usually, I mean, when people have falling outs with others, it's not a person telling them to their face that they don't like them anymore. Usually, if falling outs usually have to do with like awkward experiences and people just becoming distant with each other just naturally as a result. And this movie is really not that at all. It's like somebody straight up telling another person, like, I do not want to know you anymore. Like, I don't want to be friends with you. You're wasting my life. And, you know, then he ends up kind of very literally taking that in a very messed up direction, which we don't, I mean, do you want to get into that aspect of the movie, or it's up to you really? But
I mean, it's because it also is just like he just doesn't like him. It's not like they got in a fight or anything. He's just, yeah, you're kind of boring. I don't want to be your friend. And then he's like, goes so far as to say, if you talk to me again, I'm going to start chopping off my fingers.
yeah,
and it's like, oh, that's extreme. Okay. But it's funny how it was presented because it's like, you know, in Bruges or whatever, if anyone's seen that, you know, get kind of that same quirky kind of dialogue and people being just funny Irish people. 1920s, so there's a lot of weird slang lingo, Irish stuff. And there's like that backdrop of the Civil War going on. And that's kind of like, you know, they're portraying it as the characters. And it's like one point, a few times, I think characters just say, yeah, I don't know what they're really fighting for, but, you know, okay. Oh, well.
Yeah. And also, like, the wife and kind of, again, it's another one of those movies with like a really interesting sort of side character who feels very conflicted about what her place is in whatever the central conflict is.
Oh, yeah. The sister, you mean?
Oh, yeah, the sisters, not the wife. Whoops. Yeah.
Yeah. She was great, too.
She was nominated, I think.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah. The whole cast got nominated, it seems. I mean, I'm not sure about Brendan Gleeson, but Colin Farrell definitely did. Oh, really?
Maybe not for Oscars, but I know at least the SAG Awards, I think he did.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's about all I got on that one.
Excellent. All right. So now our number one picks. This is the most suspenseful part.
I wonder.
Well, mine is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Same.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's definitely on my honorable mentions. It's not my number one, but it's on my honorable mentions.
It's my number one too. So
yeah,
nice. Yeah, it's so good. It's like every kind of genre you could throw in a movie is in there.
Yeah, and done effectively too. You know.
Yeah, really well. Yeah. Cast was awesome.
Yeah,
I agree. There's a lot of moments that are heart-wrenching, and authentically so. Like it doesn't feel like another like a ploy to get the tears rolling or anything like that. There's just a lot of wonderful human moments. Even though like there's also a lot of fantastical elements kind of blended in as well. It just the whole thing with the wiener fingers just I mean I can't believe how much I was crying.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that little love story in that universe was touching but fucking wild as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was just like a lot of crude humor mixed with very touching moments too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, some of the humor and the jokes were pretty lowbrow. The whole thing with the butt plugs, like
that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah. They A24 made candles of that. The butt plug.
Nice.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Also, the score was incredible. like I kind of like the score. In some ways I like the score even more than the movie. Not that I don't love the movie, I definitely do, but the music I've kind of just been listening in the background at work lately, and I don't know, it's really I'm really I don't know, it's like stuck in my head a lot these days.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta rewatch it, but
Yeah, me too.
yeah, it was so good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I've rewatched it a couple times, mostly to show to other people, and yeah, it seems like everyone I know loves this movie, and it's hard to not. I mean, and do you think Michelle Yeoh might win Best Actress? I mean,
Hopefully,
I'd be happy if she did, honestly. Huh.
yeah. Or Key, I forget his whole name.
Oh,
Key,
Ki Kwang.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's been winning a bunch of shit, so hopefully it continues.
yeah, he was really good. Um, and also like his character was pretty, like it was pretty emotionally compelling as well. I mean, the movie almost could have been about him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely a lot of like laugh out loud funny parts too.
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the fact that this movie got nominated for best costume. Like when the mom, when she comes out of the bagel or whatever it is, and she's
Oh yeah.
standing there, and then the mom's like, "Why are you dressed so stupid?"
yeah,
That part has me rolling. And then also like the ending, where like the ending is amazing too. You know, because like even though like you expect it to be the type of movie that kind of resolves everything, it really doesn't. It actually kind of leaves you hanging in a lot of ways. So
yeah.
like I wanted to know if that one guy got his Rakakuni back.
Oh yeah. I think so. I like to
Yeah,
think so.
I'd like to think so too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I liked it. It was funny, and the action scenes were great. It was a really cool action.
yeah,
Had a lot of everything. Yeah, everything.
And also for a movie that was like that long, it definitely went by really really fast. Like, and
Yeah.
maybe it's because of the energy, you know, and all that it was going on in it. But it didn't. I mean, when the first when like what, because the title kind of appears throughout the course of the movie as kind of in blocks, and when the second part happened, like I mean, it felt like a lot had already happened and that the movie was kind of winding down. But then that happened, and it was like, oh, wait a minute, we got
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah,
But then, like, it turns out you got a lot more, like, and and yet somehow it still like doesn't feel like enough. Like, I don't know. It's like a word. This movie has lots of life. You know, it's just a very alive kind of movie. So
yeah. The editing was so good just to keep that pacing like it is and do all the multiverse shit the right way,
Yeah,
in an interesting way.
unique for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, and with consistent logic. Like it doesn't try to over explain itself. You know. Um, yeah, I'm glad these guys are like getting all this acclaim because I really love Swiss Army Man. So,
yeah.
Yeah, that one was great.
yeah.
They had one before. They have another movie, or maybe it's just one of them that did one. But
Oh,
I gotta find that.
The Death of Dick Long.
Yeah,
I love that movie. It is so dark, but very well done.
Huh. Got to keep them on our radar then.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Don't read about the plot. It really is honestly, you're going to regret reading about the plot if you read about the plot. Just watch the movie.
yeah. I think I did, but I forgot it. So
Oh, okay, good.
I won't do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those movies like Fargo where you just kind of want to watch it unfold from start to finish. You don't want to know what happens in it, you know. Uh, so that was your number one pick as well, Nick?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. All right, well then I guess I'll just give my my number one, and then we can talk about honorable mentions. Okay, so my number one. Okay, so yeah, when RRR came out, people were like, "Oh man, why didn't that get like submitted as the Indian like best international nominee?" Because like the movie that did get submitted by India, it was a movie that I guess a lot of people thought was inferior to RRR, I guess, upon reading about it. And I watched it, and I'd actually have to say that I liked it more than RRR. It's called Last Film Show, and it is my number one choice of the year. And I'm not choosing it just because we have an Indian audience. I promise. No, this movie I found absolutely beautiful. And it's another one of those movies where like when I looked up the reviews, I got so pissed off because it was just people complaining about it being like derivative of Cinema Paradiso, which that's another movie that I really love. And I guess you could say that this movie has like a somewhat similar plot to that, but only like in like the barest sense. But I feel like this film was about something much deeper and much more interesting and more compelling to me. Like I would actually have to say that this film was superior to that one in my opinion, and I say that as a huge fan of that one, of Cinema Paradiso, Last Film Show. This movie was absolutely incredible. It's about this kid who basically, his father is like a tea salesman who sells tea at this like train station, and this kid, so he's kind of a restless kid, pretty lonely, pretty bored, and he's mostly just like hanging out in like train yards and stuff on the train tracks. And one day his dad says, "Oh, we got to go see this movie." It turns out to be some religious movie. But his dad is actually not somebody who like his dad doesn't want him to go see films, because he considers the film industry to be a really sleazy, skeezy industry, and he doesn't feel like his son should have any part of that, So he's like, "No, you're not going to do that. You're gonna work for me instead. You're gonna," because his dad's very like into rigor, and you do eventually find out why throughout the course of the film. But this kid, basically, what he does, he's kind of so he's helping his dad sell tea at this train stop, and he's taking some of the money and using it to well, no, actually, wait, I'm wrong. He does that the first time. He takes some money to go to see a film in the theater, to see another one, because when he goes the first time, he kind of gets really captivated by like the light and the whole concept of watching a movie on a projector, and he just becomes obsessed with the whole like art of film exhibition. So he goes to this theater, and of course I think he immediately gets thrown out. I'm trying to remember if he paid for it or not. Maybe he didn't. But anyway, so what ends up happening is, yeah, he befriends the film projector guy, just like in Cinema Paradiso. And I kind of feel like the film is kind of self-aware enough to know that it's sort of following that plot, because we're talking about a movie that was made like 30 years ago or 40 years ago by this point. So the fact that it's kind of following that plot to me is like not that big a deal. But so as he's there, so his mom makes various kinds of food at this train station, and she's a really good cook, and there's these great scenes of her cooking all this different Indian food. He brings this food to this projector in exchange for free exhibitions, and the more movies he watches, the more like fascinated and infatuated he gets with the whole art of filmmaking. And so he starts imitating a lot of these techniques that he sees in these films with his friends, and he starts telling these different stories to his little buddies about these movies that he's seeing. And pretty soon they're finding more and more ways to kind of recreate them on their own. And then throughout the course of the film, his obsession with light actually pretty much grants him the ability over time to actually learn how to start sort of making his own homemade projectors, which he uses from various scrap metals and different things like that. And he and his friends are watching these movies on these makeshift projectors and stuff. At first, what he does is he takes some of the 35 millimeter reels and clips frames from them, because a missing frame nobody's going to necessarily notice when they're watching a movie. And what he does is he kind of clips like the key scenes and is kind of showing them to his friends and then explaining the plot to them and stuff. But then as they go along, they end up getting actual full-on reels, and he starts using the projectors to show these films to his friends. But of course they don't have sound, so they have to kind of recreate the sounds. And so like his little circle of buddies kind of grows more and more, and even some adults join in as well to watch these films with him. And sorry, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it, because I mean, the whole movie is about him kind of trying to figure out ways to defeat loneliness, and it's kind of through showing these films to his friends and his miniature community that he's actually able to sort of rise above that. And even his dad ends up kind of coming around eventually. But a lot of the pain that his dad feels and why he's so into rigor has to do with just the fact that he's been betrayed in the past by his family, and eventually his tea business ends up plummeting because a new railroad gets designed. It's like a different kind of train that doesn't have any stops to it that along the way, so he can't sell the tea anymore. And then the film, just like in Cinema Paradiso, it does eventually turn tragic. Although in this movie, it's not a fire. In this movie, so it takes place in 2010. And of course, these 35 millimeter projectors end up getting replaced with digital projectors. So now his projector friend is out of a job. The 35 millimeter prints are going to get destroyed. And so basically his escape from this really rigorous lifestyle is over. But then his dad ends up giving him this he talks to a friend of his that lives in the city and gives his son money to actually travel to the city to live with his friend to get a head start on actually learning the art of filmmaking, because throughout the course of the film the kid realizes that he wants to make movies. To me, this was a more inspiring story than The Fabelmans. Like this is more the type of thing I want to see when it comes to like movies about people being inspired by movies. And there's a lot of really wonderful homages to different filmmakers, Sacha Baron Cohen, Stanley Kubrick, Andrei Tarkovsky. Like particularly, there's like this train sequence in the movie Stalker where these people get on this train, and the movie Stalker by Andrei Tarkovsky, where these people get on this train and it travels to this zone where there's a room where if they can successfully navigate all these ever constantly changing traps, that they can get to this room where they can wish for anything they want and it'll come true. And in this movie, it's almost like there's an homage to that, where he takes the train to this town, almost like it's in his way, it's almost like a paradise, being able to take this train to this town. And yeah, I mean, it's just a marvelous movie. And I was very moved by it. So that's my number one pick. Honestly, I really loved it.
Uh-huh.
I hadn't even heard of this one.
Me neither.
But
Yeah.
if you compare it to Cinema Paradiso like that, I gotta see it because I love Cinema Paradiso.
Yeah, definitely watch it. Like I said, it's Indian, and so it's kind of about a different aspect of life. It's about kind of a more sort of not kind of a smaller community, I guess you could say, because they are somewhat isolated in this particular town. But yeah, no, it's just about people kind of on the lower end of life finding ways to be inspired. And it's also just kind of interesting to sort of think about how, like, to them, like 35 millimeter reels are easier to operate than digital projectors, because of the language barrier. I mean, we all, like, because in our culture, in our Western culture, we tend to think of digital projectors as being more convenient, and they are for us. I mean, I watch movies on a digital projector, so I get it. But I don't know, to see that side of things was really compelling, I have to say.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like
Yeah.
don't really hear about too many Indian movies that aren't like Bollywood style either. So I definitely want to check this one out.
It's great. Oh, that's another thing. It's not 3 hours.
Is there any musical numbers in it?
Huh?
No musical numbers in it?
There's a couple, sort of. I mean, not really. There is like a scene where the characters, like, where a couple of the characters are dancing, and then there is a part where some characters are singing, but it's part of the plot. It's not spontaneous. It's not like it is in a lot of other Bollywood, Tollywood, Indian movies where the characters break into song and dance. It actually has more to do with what's going on in the plot, and because music and dance is a big part of their culture, and it's a big part of the appeal of a lot of their movies and stuff as well. So I guess you do have to have a little bit of that even in this, but honestly, like, it's not gonna bother you. It doesn't pull you out of the movie or anything like that. It's very much interlaced with what's going on. And it's on Amazon to rent. For when I rented it, it was pretty cheap. It was like $5.99, I think.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not like, I mean, I've seen stuff that's like $9.99, $19.99. So yeah, in comparison, that's pretty good. Yeah, really love this one. So that's my number one choice.
Nice. We'll definitely watch that.
Yeah, I think you'll love it, honestly. So do you guys want to talk about your honorable mention? Most of mine were actually said by you guys already.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Got Prey, which I think we talked about.
Yeah.
Previously.
Prey was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like that one. I'd watch that one again.
Yeah.
That one was as good as the first two Predator movies, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. I was like, Prey? What is Prey? Okay, that one. Yeah, I can see that one.
Yeah. Surprising modern sequel.
Yep. Out of nowhere.
Or a
too.
prequel, I
like
should say.
Yeah.
I remember hearing a lot about it until it was released, and then
Yeah, people
it
were
was
going.
everywhere.
Yeah, people were going crazy for it once people started talking.
Yeah. It's such a damn tragedy that it wasn't in the theater, though. I mean,
Yeah,
fucking
sure.
A. Like, that was definitely one that would have been preferable on the big screen. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would have done well, I'm sure, too.
Yeah.
I did like All Quiet on the Western Front. We mentioned it earlier. It was on my list, but
Yeah. That was a good one. I like that one a lot.
Still need to see that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we watched what was that?
This is good World War I movie.
Yeah. I think we might have watched the original back in our old videography class in like 11th grade.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. I seem to recall. I think Avery laughed at the part where the guy's hands got blown off, like on the wire fence. I vaguely have some memory of that, where he's sitting there going, "Blah!"
That sounds like Avery, yeah. We watched some weird movies in that class.
Yeah, The Secret of Ronin.
Then we watched Shane.
Oh yeah, Shane. I remember that one with the
Really?
little kid. Shane, come back.
Yep.
Well, on my list, I got Bones and All. Luca Guadagnino.
I wanted to see that. I didn't though.
Yeah, me too.
It was really good, really emotional. It almost like it was. Ah man, the acting in it. I forget. I'm trying to remember who the guy was who was in that. Not Timothy Chalamet. The other guy who was in it, Mark Rylance. So good, so creepy. Actually, I think the main actor or the main actress from we're all going to the World's Fair. I think she was in it too. Strangely enough, yeah. Luca Guadagnino is a good filmmaker, honestly.
I don't think I've seen stuff, even though it's always been on my lists. But
Yeah.
I've met him.
Was he nice to you?
Yeah. Yeah. He actually even did say like hey to me just because I was doing something right in front of the camera. And he was like, yeah, good job. And then just walked away. I just gave a thumbs
That's
up and
cool.
shit. Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
For his yeah. I think Suspiria is my favorite of his. I know a lot of people hated that one, but I fucking loved it. Like it was just totally nuts. And I don't even know if I'd call it a horror movie though. That's the only thing. Like it's kind of not. Like I mean it is. Like there's some pretty gnarly horrific stuff in it, but like I don't know, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's more like a historical supernatural movie about a Mennonite lady. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen any
Tilda
of his.
Swinton plays a man in it. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
I don't think I've seen any of his stuff either yet. I want to see Call Me by Your Name.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful movie. I
really
like
do
that
want to
one.
see Bones and All. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Bones and All, Call Me by Your Name, Suspiria, and then also I Am Love. I loved all of those movies. I don't think I remember thinking A Bigger Splash was pretty good, but I don't remember much about it. It's been too long since I've seen it for me to really have a firm opinion on that one. But I like all the other stuff I've seen of his. So. Another one on this list was on my top 10 or on my honorable mentions was Babylon, the new Damien Chazelle movie.
I want to see that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's got shitting, pissing, and vomiting, so you'll enjoy it.
There's
and
a
also
Survivor
like,
cast member in that. Someone from Survivor, like a pretty famous player, Survivor player, was in that movie.
oh really? Which one?
I don't. All I know is he was like crazy looking, kind of balding, maybe had a crazy beard.
Was he the guy that was in?
Yelling at people and shit.
Was he the one that was in School of Rock?
No. That was Mike White, who's
Mike
doing
White. Okay.
who's doing White Lotus now.
Oh
His
yeah.
name
Okay.
is Shane Powers. Is the actor? I don't know the character name though.
Okay. Well, it's definitely worth seeing. It's a weird movie though, because I'm not even. I don't know if it's really trying to say anything positive about
Dale.
Hollywood.
Sorry, Dale is his name. Yeah.
Dale.
Show,
Okay.
Movie.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I don't know if I remember who. There's so many characters in that film in Babylon. Like the cast is great. You get Brad Pitt, and Margot Robbie, Diego Calva. Oh, Tobey Maguire. He shows up. I think I called him the zombie Pee Wee Herman. He's so creepy in it. Like
I keep seeing that like one one image of him.
Oh,
Yeah.
looking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all scummy looking and nasty. He's only in the movie for about like 5 minutes, but he definitely leaves an impression. Like, it's a really cool movie because like the first, I mean, it's about like old Hollywood in the 1930s, which or not the late 1920s, early 30s. So I mean, pretty decadent time. You know, I think deep focus lens referred to it as like the corks are popping and the titties are flopping. Um, I mean, the whole like first 30 minutes is just like a massive orgy. And you know, there's this whole, so in the Roaring Twenties, I mean, it was probably the most decadent time in Hollywood. Because I mean, it was like post World War One, and so everybody was all depressed and fucked up and doing cocaine and fucking each other. And then like right around the corner, the Great Depression happens. And of course, also the introduction of talkies, which killed a lot of careers. And so as the film goes on, it gets progressively bleaker and more twisted. And eventually it starts delving into the Los Angeles world of organized crime, which was probably at its worst at that time period. I mean, any kind of depraved shit you can imagine that could have happened at that time, I would say. So it definitely throws, I mean, it's going to probably throw the average viewer for a loop. I mean, I would imagine the average person's probably not going to like this movie very much unless they're like open-minded enough about how like messy, crazy movies. But I mean, Hollywood was a messed up time during that time period because like people were getting injured on movie sets and people were even getting killed on movie sets all the time. Like, I mean, this was pre Hays Code and pre Actors Guild stuff. So, I mean, nowadays we have more laws. Of course, that doesn't stop people from dying on sets, but it happens less than it did now, it happens less now than it did then, at least. So, oh, sorry, I'm running out of battery. So there's that aspect of it. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's my favorite Damien Chazelle movie so far. So.
Nice.
I'd put Nope.
Oh yeah.
That honorable mention.
Oh yeah, that was on my list too. Right at the bottom.
I just saw Smile, I think, last night. That was pretty basic, but interesting.
Yeah. Was it? Did at
basically
least
like It Follows or whatever, but not as good, but still, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a Blumhouse one?
I don't think Blumhouse, but
Okay. Because I'm like, it's really hit or miss with Blumhouse. Usually misses, but
yep.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty burnt out on Blumhouse, I have to say.
Yeah, they're usually misses, yeah, but
I think one of the worst movies I saw from last year was that Soft and Quiet movie.
I haven't heard about that one.
I don't know that one.
Well, it had a fascinating concept. It's like a one-take movie about like a women's group that takes a really dark turn. Really cool premise, but about halfway through, it turns very, very, very stupid. And I mean, I felt embarrassed for whoever made that one. I would say, I mean, if we were to make a top 5 worst movies of the year list, that would be on mine, I think.
I had Crimes of the Future.
That one was really cool. Yeah, David Cronenberg he always, even when you think you know what to expect from a movie of his, it's still surprise. It still goes in a completely different direction than you expect, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one a lot, actually. Crimes of the Future. That one's really cool. I think that one was pretty misunderstood.
Yeah, not a whole lot of people talked about it.
Yeah, people
It
sure
looked
loved
good.
it at Cannes, though. Got like a standing ovation.
I did hear like people, yeah, didn't like it, but it looked good.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was good.
All right. Anything else? Or...
I had a movie called Pleasure. If either of you've heard or seen that one.
Pleasure?
Pleasure.
Oh, Pleasure. Oh, I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's a Swedish movie about a Swedish girl moving to America to be in porn.
Okay.
It's just
Nice.
a like insider's look at the American, or an outsider's look of the American porn industry.
Nice.
It was interesting.
Yeah, that sounds like it could be really good. I'm always interested in like people, like films about people who have to kind of live different, like alternative lifestyles that like not everybody socially agrees with. That's probably why I like that Holy Spider movie, because it was about prostitutes. It's like, bring them on. Just I want to see movies about strippers and drug dealers and all kinds of crap. So,
Yeah.
but no, not to compare, porn actors to people like that. But I know some people tend to lump them all into the same category. So anytime a movie actually explores a lifestyle like that, or a career like that in like a more nuanced, more human style, I'm always into that kind of thing. So
Yeah. I think that's basically it for me. That's like my 4 stars and above level right there.
yeah. Okay, yeah, that's I think that's about it. Oh, all right. I'll end this on a happy note. The last movie that is on my honorable mentions list is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Oh yeah, I keep hearing that's really good.
Huh.
I loved it. I think it's DreamWorks' best movie.
Damn.
Yeah, I liked it even more than that new Pinocchio movie. I didn't expect that to happen too, because I loved that. I also liked it more than Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, and I like that one a lot too. So, good year for animated movies. Holy crap!
Oh, I've heard that. Yeah. I
Yeah,
haven't seen any of them, but I heard it was.
well, definitely check out Puss in Boots. It's lovely.
Yeah, I think it's going to be on Peacock this week, so I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised people saying it's so good. It's like an offshoot of Shrek. Like, is it? But yeah.
Yeah, it honestly is. It got nominated, surprisingly. That's the main reason I watched it, because it's like, okay, all right, I'll give this a shot.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good family fun, There's plenty for the kids to enjoy, plenty for the adults to enjoy. Animation is great. It's about a cute cat. But also, I mean, I actually did feel pretty invested in what was going on, to be honest. So yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that concludes our top 10 list. And yeah, have a good night.
Yeah. Have a good one.
See ya.